Um, Great. So I'm a CSU graduate also. I graduated in 1991, and then I left the state to get a master's in horticulture and a PhD in plant physiology, and then ended up coming back to Fort Collins. And I've been a scientist with the USDA National Laboratory for Genetic Resources Preservation, right across the street from the Hort Department, for the past 21 years. In terms of what I do, I work solidly in horticulture as a scientist. We do conservation and preservation of fruit collections in our National Gene Bank program. Every day is different. I work with apples, citrus, grapes, cherries, and so many more crops, including tropicals. At least, let's see. In terms of the types of things we're doing for research in this conservation and preservation work, I go on wild collection trips around the world where we collect wild species and bring them back to our gene banks. We do genetics and genomics to analyze these collections and provide information to breeding programs for fruit crops. I also have a cryopreservation program where we're developing preservation methods to store these field collections inside so they're secure and safe from environmental threats. And I'm developing a training program. So we're building training resources to share our gene banking knowledge within USDA with programs all over the world. I feel really fortunate that I get to coordinate these global projects. I get to collaborate with scientists from all over and do something really interesting. And I'm pretty passionate about it, as well as I think almost everyone who works in our building and in our programs really care about what we do. We're in the conservation business and we work with diversity, and it's just a really phenomenal thing to be working with. As far as federal positions, so I work with USDA. It's a huge agency. USDA's mission is to provide leadership on food, agricultural, natural resources, development, nutrition. We get phone calls from the public all the time. We're working with the public, we're helping solving problems, and we're out there in our communities as well as in our labs. USDA is monstrously huge. We've got 100,000 employees at 4,500 different locations. If you just look at the research arm of USDA, we're smaller. There's about 6,000 employees at 90 locations. And we have the advantages of being federal employees. We get regular 40-hour work weeks, holidays, benefits, retirement plans. It's predictable. And a lot of people like that predictability that comes with a federal job. And a lot of the people that I know have been with their jobs for 30, 35 years. So they got into the position, they love what they do, and they've stuck with it all the way through to the end. As far as jobs go, there's actually a lot of openings these days, at least within our gene bank programs. A lot of people started 30, 35 years ago when the gene banks started becoming an active thing within USDA, and now they're leaving. They're retiring, they're moving on. And that means we're looking for employees. We're expecting about 1/3 of the people within the gene bank to be leaving and departing as of the past couple of years and moving forward into the next couple of years. And that's why we're building this big training program, because we realize that we don't have the next generation of gene bankers out there, and we need to train that generation, and we're working on that now. As far as jobs go, we have different levels of jobs. At the bachelor's degree level, we've got laboratory technicians. We call them GS 5 to 9, with salaries between $38,000 and $76,000 or so. If you go on to get a master's degree, you can be either a technician or a higher level support scientist. And that could be 50 to 100K or so. And then with a PhD, you're a research scientist or a postdoc. You could also be a curator of a crop collection. We take on horticulturists, plant breeders, plant physiologists, geneticists, all aspects, pathology. We need everybody in those areas, and the pay is higher for that. As far as jobs go, they're all posted on the USDA.jobs.gov. Everything that we offer through USDA is out there on that website. Jobs usually open for a week or two, so they're pretty short openings. You got to watch the website, see what's going on, and get your application in quickly. And then it goes through portals, and it eventually there's a selection system that happens. Next slide. This is my last slide. I just want to kind of promote the plant gene bank system because I think it's just a really fun place to work with and to be involved in. We've got 20 locations all over the country in all different climates, because we've got to grow these crops in many different places, and they're all adapted to different places. The mission of our gene bank system is to support agricultural production. We acquire, we bring new materials in, we maintain it, we conserve it, we do evaluations and characterize it, we document it, and we distribute it. It's part of an international program of gene banks where we're sharing with the world this genetic diversity to enrich everyone's lives and to improve crop production. And I think that concludes mine. So I look forward to questions. Thanks.
Great, thank you so much, Gayle. Do you provide tours? Are you like in the building now? I would love, you guys have been across from me for a really long time and I'm dreaming of going in, and I call the seeds, and I teach my kids this, but like, and we just got a whole bunch of new seeds for the season. So I'm super excited. It was like a big gift today. So, but I kind of teach my kids that it's like the new money, right? Like if you have some seeds, you're going to be, you know.
Our gene bank has had more activity this year, I think, than ever before. All those homeschooler programs, all these educational programs, and everybody's interested in seeds. And we don't necessarily distributing to the public.
Sure.
But we do so for educational programs. So it's been an interesting year for us as well. I'm not in the building right now. I'm in my kitchen. Yeah. But we are working. We worked all the way through the pandemic. We had like 1 week off where we had some cases in the building, but our technical staff were all exempted and we're at work. We're all physically distanced and the work goes on. And USDA allowed us to continue doing our research programs because the seeds in the plants aren't going to wait for us. And we've got to keep them alive. As far as tours go, back in the old days, we used to do tours a lot. In fact, we have a half-time person who's a tour guide, and we give tours to CSU, to Front Range, elementary schools, organizations all over the place. We don't know what that's going to look like going forward. It's definitely not happening now, unless you get a private tour from one of us who works there. But we aren't bringing groups in just for everyone's safety. But we have a project where we're making a virtual tour. So we're in the process of doing a lot of filming, and we're doing that during the pandemic, like right now. And our goal is by August to release a series of videos and films showing the building and the facilities and the programs online so that we can get bigger than the in-person tours that we're offering right now. One of our challenges is that CSU classes with 200 kids in them want to come, and we say no. We can take 20 kids in a tour and that's it. Or we can take an organization, like if there's a society in Denver and they want to come up, we can take 80. And that means we've split into 4 groups of 20 and we're rotating around the building and we've got 10 tour guides and we're kind of doing this dance to make this happen. So we're hoping that if we go virtual, then we can provide that information, get it out there much more broadly, and invite other audiences that we could never even accommodate in the past. So that's coming soon.